All right, topic 4.4, speciation. There are three types of speciation, and the first one we're most familiar about is the what we call allopatric, divergent evolution. So divergent evolution also has two categories under it. So let's say divergent. And under it, we have allopatric speciation or sympatric speciation. Let's talk about allopatric first. So allopatric speciation is an event where two populations that has one common ancestor uh, evolve into two different species due to a physical barrier in between them that stops them from communicating and reaching each other. So example could be, mountain range or river or ocean. Let's use the example of a river. In the beginning, there's an original population like this, but then a river came through between them, separating the population. So you now have one on the left and one population on the right, population A and B. And because of this, they're going to experience different selection pressures on different sides of the river. Over time, um, the selection pressures will favor different traits. So their phenotypes will be different, will adapt over time. And over many years, thousand years, 100,000 years, when the river goes away, like when the river is no longer there, dries up, and the two populations can eventually meet up with each other again. They can no longer interbreed. So now they're two completely different species. So what happened is because there is a physical barrier that creates different selection pressures and that creates um, different traits being favored. So over time, these traits accumulate and make them so different they can no longer interbreed. Remember the three parts, the three factors you need for this to happen is first you have isolation, two mutation, and three natural selection. Without any without one of the with one of these missing, you can not have speciation. Now the other type is sympatric speciation. Before we talk about speciation due to a physical barrier, but sympatric speciation occurs when it's just a entire population, but it's not separated by anything. It just somehow evolved into two different species, A and B. Well, how did this happen? An example is to start with, you could have a population of animals that prefer a certain fruit type, and then you have population B that prefer, you know, another food source. So over time, they're not going to consume the same food source. So over time, they're probably going to adapt differently to the sort of food they eat. So over, many thousand generations, they become so different they can no longer interbreed. So this is divergent evolution. When two or more species evolve from the same common ancestor. But then we also have convergent evolution. This is a very interesting type of evolution. So convergent. So we know divergence like this, right? Can be represented by um, by y, right? By this. But convergent is like two lines joining and then forming one line. So you may think, so what is it then? Is it two species evolving to one? But no, that's a very confusing way to put it. Convergent actually means when unrelated species or very distantly related species evolve to have very similar traits due to similar selection pressures. An example is hedgehog and echidnas. So a hedgehog, right? Hedgehogs and echidnas. They look basically the same, right? Yeah, I try my best. Echidnas. Hedgehogs live in North America, I think, whereas echidnas are only found in Australia. Now, it is impossible for these two species to have any, evolutionary relationship. It's physically impossible. Well, it's scientifically impossible. But how come they both have, spikes on their back that protect them from danger? Well, the theory is even if, despite them living in different continents, very far apart, the environment they live in and the predators they face, the environment overall make them evolve this common trait, spikes on their back, because these characteristics help them to survive in their respective uh, niches. Whoops, that's not good. But that's all right. I only have one more to go. The third one is adaptive radiation. If a divergent evolution is something like this, then adaptive radiation can be represented by something like this. It's when a species diversify into many new forms due to new niches being made available in a relatively short amount of time. So the keyword is uh, diversify into multiple new forms. As you can tell, it's not just one species into two, it's one into five, six, seven, many species. And the cause for that is new niches being made available. An example is the Galapagos finch. They all live on the Galapagos island that Darwin visited, but they have different beaks because they have different food sources. Some eat insects, some eat fruit, some only eat seed, and some eat cactus. That fun fact, cactus eaters. So this is adaptive radiation, and these are the three types of evolution for you. That is unit 4.4, speciation. Thank you.